Welcome in to Blue Jays Today, folks. We're going to talk about a very exciting start that's happening this evening. We're going to be live watching along, of course, for the first Shane Bieber start. I thought I saw something on Twitter where it's been like 500 days since that guy has been on an MLB bump. So, like, it has been a minute.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, expectations are high, but we got to temper expectations a little bit because, again, it has been a long time since he's been on there. However, all that being said, I can't help it. I am a little bit amped up. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about Manoah and Yesavage because your boys were in Buffalo this past week. We got to watch firsthand what those guys are up to, and we talked to a lot of those Buffalo Bisons and kind of picked their brain about what life is like down there. And then, of course, we're going to talk about this past series and upcoming series. To help us do all of that, though, we got to bring in a special guest right here. We got Whit Merrifield from the road. My guy was having a little golf tournament, -5. How's it going, Whit Merrifield?
It's going good. Yeah, it's going good.
Well, we got to pick your brain about Shane Bieber because that's what all the hype is right now in the community. What should people realistically expect from Shane Bieber tonight in his first start back, like Nick's saying, in over 500 days?
Yeah, I mean he's definitely a stud, and he's proven that. We talked about it on our podcast a little bit, but he's a guy that's pitched hurt and had success. So I think the floor is pretty high for him. Looking forward to seeing what he can do.
Yeah, I am as well. And I look back at the numbers, right? And you look at like when exactly he was hurt, right? In 2024 is when he kind of got it, was when the injury began, and then 2023 was a little bit of a down year for him. And I'm really hoping and praying that like a good Shane Bieber can kind of help propel this team into the next level. And now you get a little bit of an interesting mix where you got Shane Bieber coming up, joining an already pretty deep rotation. Thoughts on how that rotation is going to be managed by John Schneider?
I got no idea. So I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions, but you got when you got a good team, you're going to have to make tough decisions when guys are playing well, and you got to send guys down that don't deserve to be sent down and move guys to the pin that don't deserve to move to the pin, bench guys that don't deserve to be benched. So it's all problems of being on a good team, and that's what's going on with them right now.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear that because, like, when I first saw the update, speaking about, I guess, people being moved to the pen of, Eric Lauer is now going to be available from the pen, and they didn't commit to him being, a bullpen guy for the rest of the season or anything like that, but I was initially caught off guard because, Eric Lauer has been an absolute stud for Toronto effectively all season long, like, such an incredible, just story from him out of the starting rotation. So then to hear it's like, oh, well, he's going to the pen, initially I was like, what the hell are we doing? But I guess that is just, like you said, like, the problems of being on a good squad. Like, he is one of the only individuals who has had experience pitching out of the pen, and you could also make the argument, well, he's been so good this year, like, this is kind of a blessing because now the bullpen is that much stronger because that guy's going to be there to help them in the games where they do need 2 or 3 innings of relief.
Yeah, it's such a double-edged sword where he's pitched so well that you feel like he's increased his value as a starting pitcher, and he's looking to get a job next year and somebody move forward for himself, but then now he gets moved to the pit. So hopefully that doesn't knock his value as a starter.
Right.
But that's always what guys are thinking, and it's tough. It's tough. It sucks. It sucks for him in a sense of a personal standpoint, but when you're playing for a team that's as good as the Blue Jays are, again, you've got to make tough decisions, and guys are going to get put in tough spots individually, and it sucks. But it's also a blessing at the same time, and it's hard to explain what all goes on with a guy like Lauer right now, what's going on in his head, but. You win a World Series, and that all seems to get washed out.
Right. Yeah, that all seems to go away. I agree. Now, we were just down in Buffalo, and we were speaking to some of the boys. Lots of great guys down there. And we were actually speaking with Easton Lucas, who came up to the show with the Blue Jays earlier this year. And he told a little story about how Kevin Gausman, he gives these post-game speeches.
Occasionally. Not every time, but occasionally he was saying that Gausman would give these post-game speeches to help, I don't know, I guess like hype up or motivate the squad. Did he ever do that when you were in Toronto? And if he did, what were those like?
No, it's news to me.
Wow, so this has got to be a new development then from Kevin Gausman. Yeah, because Easton Lucas was saying that this is like, I guess one of the biggest things that stood out to him from being up there was Kevin Gausman's post-game speeches. So we were hoping that maybe you'd heard something, but I guess as he's been with the Blue Jays longer, he's like embraced the veteran role,
leadership role.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's me speculating right now.
Yeah, I would love to hear one of those speeches, but no, that he. That wasn't a thing when we were there, but it's 2 years ago. So
yeah, no, that's fair enough. Also, I've been checking out the 6-inning pod, and Dalton Varsho was talking about how he had to cover a little bit more ground in center field because I guess around September you'd be kind of eyeing the concourse for a TV that you gotta see if Jordan Love's throwing a touchdown or whatnot. So you're a big fantasy football guy.
Yeah, I am. Dalton just likes to exaggerate some things. I mean, it's he's just mad because he has to be locked in all the time, and I could, from the time the pitch was thrown to the next one, I could check out and look around and see what was going on in the stands and lock back in by the time the next pitch came. And Dalton couldn't do that, so he's a little jealous.
Have you had any fantasy football drafts yet? Because I know that we're in the season now.
No, my first one my only one is about a week away. Yeah.
Got any sleeper picks you're looking at right now?
I haven't done enough research yet to figure out what I want to do. I need to get on.
I'm sure Jordan Love is. That's a big one.
Listen, as a Green Bay Packer fan, I can assure you that yes, Jordan Love is a phenomenal selection. Should that be the direction that you want to go? We're gonna let you go relatively soon because I know that you're driving home and everything like that. We don't want to keep you too long. But one question that was, I guess that's been percolating in my brain a little bit recently. It feels like, and again, there is still, I believe it's 34 games left. 34 games of the regular season left. And, I know, got to get the postseason first before we even really start deep diving into what that's going to look like. But it is starting to feel like the American League as a whole is kind of shaping up, or at least the playoff picture is starting to take shape. We're starting to get an understanding that, okay, these are the teams that are most likely going to be there. There is still a month left of baseball, but is there one team other than the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League that you're looking at right now, that you're seeing play baseball, that you're thinking to yourself, wow, those guys are playing really good ball. We're not talking enough about X team right now?
No, I mean, it's just playoff baseball is just a different animal. Once you get there, it's all about who's hot. The Tigers have been so good all year; it's hard to overlook them. But I don't have a specific team for you because nobody's really got that. I don't feel like anybody is head and shoulders above anybody else. So once you get to the postseason, especially in the American League, anything can happen.
Yeah, relatively the American League this year is pretty even. It feels like any given week, hot streak could happen. Boom, there goes the division lead. So it feels like it's going to be some fun postseason baseball. I think that's what we're kind of shaping up for right now. Whit, thank you so much for taking the time to join us in your car. Enjoy the golf this weekend, and we'll catch you later, man.
All right, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, take care,
Easy.
man. You can go check out Whit on the 6 Inning Stretch podcast. If you do look them up on YouTube, as it stands right now, their YouTube, I believe, is still down. However, I know that you can go check them out on Twitter and or any of the other podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of that stuff. And hopefully, fingers crossed soon, they will be getting their YouTube channel back. Because we've been there. I know how shitty it can be, man. So yeah, that obviously sucks for them right now. Fingers crossed they can get back sooner rather than later. Welcome into the 158 people who are joining us right now. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to hit that like, smash the subscribe button. Like we said, we are going to be going live for the Shane Bieber start this evening. I'll be honest, dude. I don't think I've been this excited for just a live watch along, live play-by-play in a really long time. We've seen some great games, dude. Like, we've seen some absolutely electric games of baseball. Last Friday, we both agreed was probably the best game that we've watched all season long.
Right.
But just like walking into an actual game of baseball where I get to sit down and see this guy pitch for the Toronto Blue Jays. I probably haven't been this amped up since Max Scherzer's first start, honestly.
It's the pedigree that you got with Shane Bieber that I'm very, very excited about. I can't wait for the memes too. Going to be making a Bieber graphic tonight as well. That's how hyped up it is. But it's exciting because the potential is always there. 2024, he had 2 games and he was basically done. 2023, you have to imagine there were some lingering injury issues because when you look over at a Baseball Savant page, you could see a lot of the stuff was down. Velo was down. Exit velo was getting absolutely destroyed. The expected batting average, everything was all the way down. Only the walks were good, so he had somewhat command. But then you look at the 2022 year where he was Cy Young 7. That's the Bieber kind of potential that I think people are hyped up for. But I gotta agree, it is just one start, and you don't want to get too excited and expect a big line from him. He's just coming back. If you want to take Max Scherzer's word for it, this guy's basically in spring training right now, or I guess you could say it's opening day for him. So
pretty much
for him going into the postseason, it's going to be like, what? We're in mid-May? So we got to have temper expectations here. Maybe hopefully he gets hot. If not, hey, he's still going to give you a chance to win, I'd say.
I think realistically, I'm definitely not going to live and die by what it is that he does tonight. That being said, though, should he go 6-inning shutout ball, everyone's going to hear about it. But I do think that I'm more interested in the ramp up for the playoffs because I think that Shane Bieber can be just such a strong key contributor to the Toronto Blue Jays come postseason time. And if he is on, that's kind of the one piece that we're missing.
Yeah.
There was a great article written by Sportsnet where they were talking about, some of the big questions right now about the Toronto Blue Jays. And one of the big questions was, is there anyone in the Toronto Blue Jays? I forget exactly how they worded it. In fact, I can pull it up right now. Where the hell is... what are the biggest remaining questions for the Toronto Blue Jays? And they worded it, yes. Who, if anyone, can provide top-of-the-rotation quality innings? And they kind of evaluated a bunch of different guys and everything. And the one guy that we don't know about yet is Shane Bieber.
Right.
Because, he is honestly like a Mario Kart mystery box. It's it might just be, we're pulling a banana and it's okay, not, this is good, but it's not great. But he could be a bullet, and that shit would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. And again, that's what you're hoping, and that's what your expectations are. But the good thing, I guess, for the Blue Jays right now is we are starting to see somewhat of an identity form in that rotation. You got Mad Max. Every pitch or every start, this guy.
That guy's looking like a bullet bill right now. Let me tell you.
He's starting to surge. He's starting to become the Max Scherzer that we were hoping when we first signed him. Kevin Gausman's been steady as all holy hell, and then after that, Eric Lauer was in the pen, but he's been honestly for me the number 3 right there. Barrios, Bassett going through their struggles right now. We'll see how they round out rest of the season. But you're tossing in Bieber into that mix of if any one of these guys wants to become the 3rd or the 4th. They can. They all have that ability in them, which is a great problem for the Blue Jays to have.
Yeah, 100%. And for those Call of Duty players out there, Rob says Beeb's going to be a ray gun pull. That's
a ray gun pull.
That's effectively, a bullet bill, ray gun pull. However you want to associate that in your brain, that's obviously the upside. That's what we're hoping for. But again, we do need to understand that if he does go 1.2 innings, giving up 4 earned runs tonight. The sky isn't falling. Obviously, you want more, but to your point, to Whit Merrifield's point, to a lot of people's point, this is basically opening day for him, and that we're talking about an individual who, as I said off the top, has not pitched in MLB in roughly 500 days.
Yeah.
So imagine if you were really, really good at doing a thing, but then you just didn't do it for 500 days at that level, and everyone's like, oh well, we expect you to come back and be that guy 500 days ago. Well, it's gonna take you a moment, right? I mean, I pick up a golf club after 3 weeks, and I don't even know how to swing. I don't know anything anymore. I'm holding it the wrong way around. So I do just want to put that one out there right now and say, benefit of the doubt is going to be given to Shane Bieber regardless of what happens tonight. However, if he does go 6 scoreless, holy shit, I'm going to be fired up.
I mean, if he's bad, doesn't fit our narrative. Good.
Yes.
Definitely does.
I will be cherry picking this narrative for sure, for certain, as I imagine a lot of other Toronto Blue Jay fans will be. Let's give a quick shout out to one of the sponsors of this video, folks. Shout out to Budweiser's Batters Up, and the Buds are stepping up to the plate. Budweiser is encouraging all Buds to make time for baseball this summer. Moments with your Buds are priceless. Savor the summer weather while cheering on the Toronto Blue Jays. They're the official partner of the Toronto Blue Jays, as well as they are the official partner of Blue Jays Today. Woo. You can go find limited edition Blue Jays Budweiser cans available at your local LCBO. Must be legal drinking age, and of course, please drink responsibly.
I wanted to talk about that Pirate series because we kind of glazed over it. We were in Buffalo a little bit, and we're going to talk about some of our takeaways from that because, my goodness, I got to say, what an experience. I want to say thank you to the Buffalo Bisons for bringing us out there. That was just an awesome time, getting to know the players, really grounding and humbling experience. So really do appreciate and thank you to those guys. But before we talk about that, the Pirates series that we basically missed 2 games of because we were down there in Buffalo. Thoughts on that? We lost the series. We didn't score a lot of runs. What's your takeaways from all that?
Yeah, I think that, you really got to throw that one in the trash can. The Skeens game, where, you're having a really hard time scoring off of Paul Skeens and everything like that. Okay, yeah, I understand why the offense was a little quiet there at the beginning. But the other games, I mean, what was the final line of game 3? It was 2-1. Yeah, exactly, hits. Right?
Yeah,
that's one of those things where I just want to chalk it up to it being a 162 game season. If this is continuing against the Miami Marlins and then the following weeks, okay, now we have something to talk about, and now we have something that potentially you could be concerned about. But like what Merrifield just said about the Detroit Tigers, Toronto Blue Jays have been playing great baseball basically all season long. You are going to have some stinkers every now and again. You got to hope that that's not going to be the case come October baseball. Right. You got to hope that you are not going to stoop down to that level, and it did kind of feel like we played down to our opposition a little bit right there, which Toronto and tons of teams have been known to do in the past. I'm not going to overreact too much right there. I just think that it was a bad road trip for the offense, and we got one game. You escaped with one win.
Because of Max Scherzer, shut up.
Because of Max Scherzer. But honestly, this is where I want to see the bounce back happen in Miami against what is a very bad Miami Marlins team.
Yeah, I'm with you. And also, I see someone in chat asking about Vladdy. The word on Vladdy, he should be back. It's nothing serious. The MRI just showed inflammation, so that's fine. I mean, that's just, I'm sore. I literally stretched, assuming it was the stretch he had on Monday night. It's just, that's what happens. He'll be fine. He'll be back. He's been such a Iron Man for the Toronto Blue Jays for so long that one little injury to Vladdy and we're like, oh my god, it's so bad. But
I think that's one of the most underrated things about Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s career actually is the fact that he is always on the field, right? He is always on the field. And yes, there's been seasons before where, Vladdy's batting 270 with a low 800 OPS. But I'll tell you what, every single team out there would take that over their star player who plays in 60 games, but is on the IL for the rest of the season, right? So the fact that Vladdy is basically on, when has he ever been injured? Seriously, when has he ever been? He's never had a serious injury. Everyone knock on the piece of wood right now.
Yeah.
But such an underrated part about Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s game is just the fact that he is on the field all the time, and we used to get him, or I guess everyone used to get on him about his I want to say, conditioning, clearly he's in a good enough condition to be healthy, which is ultimately like what I want the most for you. I want you to be healthy, and I want you to be playing at a high caliber, which he is capable of doing.
Right, and here's the thing. When you're playing a lot, you rack up a lot of WAR, and right now this season, he's got a 4.4 WAR according to Baseball Reference, and if you look at the good years that you're essentially paying the $500 million for, he's only had 2 years over 6 WAR, which was 2021, and then last year. At this rate, assuming he's healthy for the rest of the season and doing what he's doing and being hot, I think he's going to hit that 6 WAR yet again.
Right.
And look, that's what, if you tell me Vladdy's going to get 6 WAR every single season,
wow,
that's well worth the money. That's
exactly.
You
know, and I have Aracemi coming in here. I imagine they're joking, but he says, "Good point, Nick. He always shows up, no matter if he's mid as fuck or a good player." But honestly, though, I would rather have somebody show up for 162 games being mid as fuck and being on my team actually producing.
I need a player.
Then have somebody, where it's like, oh, you're really, really good when you're on the field, but you're actually never really on the field. I mean, the Yankees are finally seeing what a healthy Giancarlo Stanton is capable of doing right now, but that guy hasn't played baseball, it feels like, in 3 years from now, or 3 years, because he's just on and off and on and off and on and off the IL. That's never the problem with Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
And, actually, we're talking about Iron Man right now, and I wanted to bring this up too. Ernie Clement, and I believe this was a stat I heard this on the broadcast. I think it's only 2 games this season he hasn't been in. Like, he's been either pinch hit or pinch run or defensive replacement or started a game in all of them but 2.
No days off, baby.
No days off. Or I was even saying to you too, I was like, man, like, it only took 125 games, but I'm realizing, like, this guy literally is in the lineup every effing day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about back before in 2023 when he was just coming up and getting a taste of the big leagues. And then even last year, like, he played 139 games. Right now, like I said, 125. He's going to get like 150, 160 games by the time it's all said and done.
Oh, I know, yeah. Ernie Clement has quietly become a very key player for the Toronto Blue Jays. Just one of those guys where he's not going to be, you're never going to sing his praises like crazy, because at the end of the day, like, is he the best player on this team? No, there are other teammates that are performing at a higher caliber, but he's always there. And good teams need guys to fill out their roster who are going to be productive and are going to play their role really well. Ernie Clement is one of the best role players in MLB. You could put him wherever the hell you want, it feels like, defensively speaking, and he's going to do a great job, and he's going to be there. And you know what? He also does a pretty good job at putting the baseball to the ball, which is something that, a lot of bench players are incapable of doing.
One of the best contact hitters in all of baseball. Rarity you see him strike out. Actually, I think we were watching the game the other night, and he struck out, and you were like, Ernie Clement struck out.
Oh, I know. He never strikes out.
He never strikes out. But, yeah, I wanted to give his flowers because I feel like, again, like, because he just shows up, does his job. He's a good average MLB player. We don't give him enough praises. Got to give him praises. If we're talking about Iron Man on the Blue Jays, shout out
That's
Ernie,
the thing,
your dog.
Would we be here without Ernie Clement? I mean, maybe not, honestly.
That's the thing. What's his replacement on the team? Because you think about Jimenez being hurt for so long this year, and then for a time Barger wasn't, in April wasn't a guy, and you get Ernie Clement playing third base. Like, who else in the system could go play shortstop, second, and third, and you can feel comfortable rolling it every day? I don't really think there's anybody
Somebody
else.
would have had to been called up from AAA, which is a great transition to talk about our time in AAA Buffalo, everybody. We were there on Tuesday's game. Well, there was no Tuesday game because it got rained out, but we were there on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We were there on Wednesday, and we were there on Thursday as well, talking with a lot of those Buffalo Bisons down there. First things first, what a great environment. Buffalo is just the stadium, everything. It's a completely different vibe than the Toronto Blue Jays. Again, the Toronto Blue Jays is awesome as MLB, but like totally different vibe, and I highly recommend that if you guys have never taken a trip down there to Salem Field, I highly recommend that you go check it out. We were lucky enough to be down there when we saw 2 very important starts. One of them was Trey Yesavage. One of them was Alek Manoah. We got an article right here.
By you.
Brilliantly written article, guys. Whoever wrote this article, absolute phenomenal individual. Really, really good insight here. No, I'm gassing myself up. I wrote it. But there was a lot of people that were saying Alek Manoah's outing, great. Because when you look at the box score, it was pretty good. He went 4.2 innings. He gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks. So just on the surface, you go, okay, that's pretty solid, right? Like, this is something that we can work with. This is something that we can build off of. But this is a beautiful thing about being in the building, everybody, is that we saw the stuff that other people did not see. And I broke it down quite a bit in this one. Alek Manoah looked better, but there are still things that he needs to work on. And I am now at the point right now, and I could be proven wrong in about 8 days when September call-ups come, but I am at the point right now where I am almost 100% sure that this is going to be a 2026 thing and not a 2025 thing, because as it stands today, yes, that was a nice box score, but there was a lot of inconsistencies with his game, and there are still certain things that I think he's got to fine-tune down there, and Buffalo's probably the best spot for it.
Quick shout out here to True North Strong with a $2 donut saying, Clement, love. He's the man. Yes, he is, True North. I bet you love that segment. For me, getting to watch it and seeing him in person, yeah, there was a couple command issues a little bit, and there was a lot of dip in his fastball velocity.
See, that's the biggest thing, man.
For me, like, I don't know. Again, I wish we got an opportunity to talk to him, but maybe one day we will be able to get an opportunity to talk to him. His fastball velocity was down. The changeup difference was only about, on average, like 1.5 mile per hour from his four-seam fastball. So, like, that was a little bit concerning for me. And those kind of issues, that tells me a couple things. Either he's tired, he's not getting the right grip on the changeup. You're not going to find that maybe in the next month. We have September's call-ups coming up in literally a week. Yeah, he's probably not going to come up as that 28th man or 27th man on the roster yet. Excuse me. There's some other guys on that roster, though, however, that might be able to come up, like the Easton Lucas of the world, the Paxton Schultz, that they look ready to go. We spoke to them. They look ready to go, and they've been up in the big leagues already, and I wouldn't be shocked if those were the last guy additions.
100%. And to further just, expand on what Adam was talking about right there, is that the fastball was averaging about 91 miles per hour. The changeup was about 89.
Yeah, it's like 1.5 difference.
Yeah, it's like there really was not a whole lot of difference at all when you're talking about just a variance in speeds. And there was one inning in particular, I believe it was the second inning right there, where the command was leaving him, and I believe he had bases loaded at one point, had to walk several. That's where all the walks came from. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, in MLB, you're not getting out of this. This is like because now you got to pump the zone, and his stuff was just not deceptive enough. He was capable of leaving, only giving up a earned run there. So, I mean, credit where credit is due. But at the MLB level, I don't think that the stuff would have been capable there. Maybe that's the naysayer in me and the critic. I hope that he will prove me wrong as time goes on. But I think that there was enough stuff going on there, or enough questions with his stuff, to make me want to hold off on him. Another example, for instance, was his slider. That was averaging about 76 to 77 miles per hour. Back in 2023, the last time that he was really, up with the squad, that was at 81, 82. So a significant dip right there in velocity for Manoah. Just, again, more time needed.
He's coming back from, Tommy John. And LA, hey, we're talking about Bieber. Coming back from Tommy John. I think Bieber looking a lot better in his rehab starts than Manoah. But B, you could also see a reality where he doesn't really have it, and the command kind of slips from him, and he might get a little bit tired. And like, hey, you haven't pitched for 500 days. You're not used to this bulky workload that your arm isn't used to. It's not built up yet. I feel like that's what's happening with Manoah right now. He's coming back from rehab. He spent this entire past 365 days rehabbing, like physically on the mound, everything. Shut him down for this year when you get to September, and I'd be waiting for next year. So I'm not out on Manoah because I still want him to be a good depth piece for this team.
Agreed.
But not right now in this season.
Also, shout out once again to True North Strong and Free right here with a $279 donation. It says, Manoah, hopefully he can fine-tune his attitude. And you know what? I do want to just speak very quickly on that, because we weren't capable to speak with Manoah. And actually, the truth of the matter was that's because he wasn't taking interviews. And that's because he had and he also had some bad experiences with some recent interviews because his performance hasn't been great. So I understand that, from an outsider standpoint looking in, Manoah's attitude might not look the best, but I also think that he's going through a lot right now, and this is somebody that is like really battling adversity, battling so much criticism online and just from everybody. I mean, the criticism for that guy is is through the roof, and he's tasted what it is to be at the height, right? You know, he was one of the most successful, and it felt like the rug got pulled out from underneath him. So I do want to give him the benefit of the doubt in that regard. It's like, I just think that this is a man right now who really wants to play baseball at a high level. And you know what? There's a lot of things going against that, and there's a lot of people saying, no, you're not capable anymore. So I understand that from the outside looking in, it might look like his attitude is not the best. However, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. I still think he's a great guy, and I think, honestly, he's got the Toronto Blue Jays' best interests at heart more than anybody right now, and he just wants to be successful.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Alek Manoah and how he's handled himself over the last 2 years. I mean, everyone can go and hang their hat on the last 2022 and 2023 in the fallout there. It's been 2 years. People change. You know, people grow up too, and I think Manoah's handling it very good. And honestly, I wouldn't want to speak to me if I was Alek Manoah. I wouldn't want to speak to the media. I got to do my job here. I'm focused on me because that's what's important. I'm focused on my family. So props to Alek Manoah for doing it the right way. Before we continue talking about Buffalo, I do gotta give a shout out here to Pizza, guys. You know what it is? It's Friday. We're gonna have our pizza party later, watching the live play-by-play, watching Bieber. But we gotta give him a shout out right now. Try Pizza's new chicken tenders today, made with 100% Canadian farm-raised chicken and cooked to crispy golden perfection. Don't wait, guys. Swing by Pizza today, and or order on the Pizza app, or order online at pizzapizza.ca, because Pizza, everyone deserves pizza.
Yeah, we will be live later tonight. I guess it is our pizza
Friday.
night. Yeah,
I know. A little side note. Obviously, we just came back from Buffalo. We got up at like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. Took a bus. We got back here. I'm zonked, and we whipped together this show. We're gonna be going live later, so it's gonna be a long one for the lads.
Busy day for the boys for sure, man. Busy, but again, would not have it any other way. So awesome being in the building. Fingers crossed. Maybe we can get in the building with the Toronto Blue Jays sooner rather than later.
I mean, that's ultimately the goal, guys. Like, look, we do this podcast all the time, and we want to give you the best sources, the best, like, analysis, and the best truthful answers. But when we can't get in the door, it's kind of hard to do that. And we have a big enough audience where I feel like we wouldn't be doing you justice if we were just making making stories in our head. We got to talk to the people. We can't no more assuming, like, that'd be amazing. Which is why, like, when we went to Buffalo, and now when I speak about these guys,
I know
I can give you a truthful, honest answer about 100%. The energy that they have.
Yeah, and I mean, it feels like I saw so many. That's why I said off the top, I saw so many articles after the fact talking about Alek Manoah, praising his outing, praising how good he was, but they weren't there. I was there. I saw literally, and I was recording everything. I was documenting it all. So it feels like I have a little bit more of an inside scoop right here, and you're actually hearing this, not from the horse's mouth, because Alek didn't speak, but, from the closest horse to the horse's mouth.
We were pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Buffalo guys, there was a very special Buffalo guy that pitched yesterday. He's also the #1 prospect for the Toronto Blue Jays, according to MLB.com. That is Trey Yesavage. I got the pleasure of also writing this article about Trey Yesavage, where I literally go inning by inning, batter by batter, and explaining exactly what his approach was, how he was attacking, how he was getting out of jams, what he was doing in certain situations, how his changeup was developing over time. And as the game went on, again, because we're right there, his cutter was effective early. Then they started getting on the cutter in the second inning. That's where he gave up the 3 earned runs. But then what I saw was immediately an adjustment. He wasn't getting a lot of swings and misses. In fact, the cutter was finding the zone on the edges and getting them to strike out looking. That was the first 4 strikeouts. And then later on, you started to see that dynamic combination of the fastball and the changeup, and he was getting a shitload of swings and misses on the changeups off the plate too. And that's the talent right there. He ended up with 8 strikeouts. Yes, it was 3 earned runs over 4 2/3.
It was honestly the most Yesavage line that you could come up with. I mean, the guy gave up some runs. He did with that. But again, 8 Ks, 3 earned runs. I mean, the most Yesavage line you could come up with.
Right, because early on, he got... people were adjusting to him, and then he readjusted to them. And right now, he's still trying to figure out how his stuff's going to play, because he was around the edges a lot. And eventually, he made the adjustment mid-game, and he shut him down and just went on a strikeout tear.
Yes.
So that right there is impressive, but also what's more impressive is the fact that this guy has even gotten to AAA. And, and we saw him in passing there in Buffalo, and like, again, I don't know the guy, but like my first just overall impression, I was like, this guy is like locked in.
Yeah,
like,
there's an aura for sure.
There's an aura like he's on business, and also it's an aura of like, holy, like, Lord, I'm here. Like, you went from the Florida Complex League, single A, also Dunedin Blue Jays, to here in one season. A, shows the talent, and B, shows just how remarkable of a year he's had.
Yeah, and I do think, honestly, he's going to get a lot from these AAA starts because, you saw the makings, or you saw the formula of what could be an ace in MLB. Honestly, like what we watched was the formula there for what could be an ace. Now we got to just piece it together and maybe get to some of those adjustments a little bit quicker, or figure out how to fine tune your game even more so that we can avoid some of those earned runs, but the strikeouts are still there because it's clear the stuff plays. The stuff plays, right? Now it's about fine tuning that game, really, I guess, what is the word that I'm trying to locking in on his sequencing. I want to talk about his fucking sequencing. But I think honestly it's like he is going to get so much right now at this level, and this is the spot for him. Similarly to Alek Manoah, I think that the best course of action is to let him cook in AAA for the remainder of the season, because I know that people were thinking, oh, maybe he could come up to the show. And again, prior to me going and prior to me being in that building, I was one of those guys too, and I was going, I was like salivating at the thought of him coming up. But I actually genuinely think that it would be better for his development and probably better for the team overall to just let him chill. And he's done so much of a meteoric rise. He's at a good spot right now. The stuff plays like crazy. Let him work down there, and then come spring training in 2026, I think Manoah is going to be in the mix for a rotational spot. I think Yesavage might be in the mix for a rotational spot because, those boys are where they need to be right now, and there's just a couple things for both of them that if you can put all that together, it's like, all right, now we're talking.
Yeah, I agree. Let him cook there. Also, I see Drew Gamer in the chat saying it's a splitter, not a change. It's a split change. So, you could either one you want.
Call it whatever you want, Drew Gamer.
Call it whatever you want. It's a split change. And we actually, it's funny enough, I was talking to Trenton Wallace about split changes. So, that's a very popular one that they got there. So, split change, that's what they got. It's got incredible movement. Like he's mentioning, he does have a ridiculous arm angle. Like, it's so over the top that imagine that split change is starting up here, and it's got a lot more illusion of a break than it would because it's starting so high.
Yes, 100%. But we're going to be having videos coming out from that experience over the next couple weeks, everybody. We got interviews with Easton Lucas, Adam Kloffenstein, who was a throwback to forever, because when we were like very, very small, we were lucky enough to interview Adam Kloffenstein. Now, we're at where we are right now, and we can talk to him in person. That was awesome. We talked to Paxton Schultz, which was really, really cool. We talked to a bunch of guys. So we're going to be having interviews coming out in short forms all throughout the next couple weeks and everything like that. So if you're not already, go follow us on our Instagram, our TikTok, our Twitter, all of those things, because they were just so good to talk to. And these are the hard-hitting questions, guys. Like we go in depth, everybody. Seriously, I'm gonna leave it there. I don't want to give anything away, but you guys can see that when it comes out.
It's a lot of fun, guys. All right, shall we talk about the Blue Jays series upcoming?
Yeah, let's talk about Miami, everybody. Before we do, massive shout out here to Greta Bar, guys, located in downtown Toronto. It is definitely the spot. I think that we're gonna have an event there coming relatively soon, which is really, really cool. But they have an upcoming event, or no, they don't. That was on August 16th.
They haven't updated our sheet here.
Okay, I was about to say, it's like, I was about to sell this event, but it's no longer. Either way, I guarantee they always have something going on Friday, Saturdays, the weekend. So you definitely want to go check out Greta Bar. This is what is sponsoring this upcoming segment.
Yeah, guys, 590 King Street West. Greta Bar, let the games begin. And let the games begin for the Toronto Blue Jays, who are looking for a bounce back against the Miami Marlins, everybody. Of course, like we've been talking about this entire podcast, Shane Bieber is on the bump, and he's up against a very, very big opponent here, Tabata. We actually don't know who it is. I was checking the Miami Marlins probables. There is a missing person in their rotation.
Somebody let us know if there is any updates on Twitter or anything like that.
If they made an announcement, throw it in the chat down there. But regardless, whoever they're facing, you're up against Shane Bieber. So you're getting a couple guys who maybe haven't played in the big leagues yet. But I'm going to be honest. Unless their guy is, I don't know, someone who's a former Cy Young Award winner with lots of potential.
Well, they do actually have one of those guys.
Well, yeah, Sandy Alcantara, they do. But he's I don't know, is he coming back? I don't know. I actually don't even see him in this rotation right here. Oh, no, there he is right there. My bad. But unless they have another guy who's coming back from Tommy John, who's a former Cy Young Award winner, I'm picking Shane Bieber in this one. I got to go with the Bieber fever. You're up against Miami Marlins offense. This one feels good to me because this offense right now, it has looked pretty interesting, but overall, kind of just average, right? 10th in average, 18th in on-base percentage, 16th in OPS, 18th in runs, 24th in home runs. It's an average offense, so they're going to pop a couple. They might sneak up and score a few. But it's Bieber, so I gotta get the win on Bieber Day. I gotta get the win on Bieber Day.
I understand what you're saying. I don't feel that way actually. Like I don't, because again, like we're talking about what have we been saying this whole time, Adam? He has not pitched in 500 days.
Who's that guy though?
Well, apparently Drew Gamer's saying it's probably going to be Cal Quantrill. So I mean that's again. But look, at least that whoever it is that they have will probably, have a tiny bit more experience in the last year or two than Bieber. And this isn't selling Bieber short. I just want to manage expectations as much as possible. I know that Miami's not very, very good, but Toronto's offense didn't look great in Pittsburgh either. And I just think that, honestly, this is the range of outcomes here for Shane Bieber is through the roof. I am hoping, and the bias in me wants him to go at least 5 innings of, 1 or 2 earned run ball and really lock it in and give the Toronto Blue Jays a chance to win. But I don't know. I think that there's also a very real possibility that, he does get blown up because it is the first start back. And this is, almost like spring training for him, at the very least opening day. So I'm actually going to say that the Miami Marlins win this game. I got to see it first at the MLB level before I fully lock it in and go, yes, I can depend on Bieber. I can always bet on Shane Bieber. I got to see at least one start.
Yeah, for me, it's just simply Toronto better than Miami, and I do think Bieber will be, and apparently it's not Cal Quantrill, so we don't even know who the hell it's going to be. Bieber should be, even after all this break, should give you a chance to win, and hopefully the offense wakes up. Because I am banking on the offense tonight.
Offense is going to need to wake up.
I think the offense is going to win this game because I'm going to predict a high-scoring game here, folks.
Right.
Probably take the over on your local betting apps. I think the Jays got to get pumping 7-6. Blue Jays win.
Yeah, the offense cannot be doing what it was that they were doing over there in Pittsburgh. Obviously, that's just not going to cut it. I hope, though, that because Shane Bieber's on the bump, and I don't know how much this helps or hinders the Toronto Blue Jays offense, but I would imagine that there's got to be a sense of urgency or a sense of we got to have our guys back right now because he has not pitched in however many days. So I think that not that they don't, always want to win and always want to hit home runs and everything like that, but it feels like today if the offense is going to be just that much more, 1 or 2 or 3% more locked in than they are on any other given day because they also know that this is Shane Bieber's start and they probably want to show up for their new guy. That being said, though, I am still going to Miami.
Okay. Also, apparently it is this guy named Ryan Gusto, or Gusto, as they say up here. Last time out, he only had 1 start with Miami. This year, he's been with Houston most of this year, but 1 start and he threw a quality start.
6 innings, 3 earned runs. I mean, again, that's a winnable game. If you get that off of him, you can still win that game. Yeah. But if that's what happens, then you are asking Shane Bieber to be pretty good. Yeah. I guess the one benefit, though, is, let's say Shane Bieber goes 3 innings. Well, guess who's in the pen? Eric Lauer, so that's something, pen, right?
So there you go. So maybe Eric Lauer can give some of his power for the Blue Jays tonight, and then you can save the bullpen for the rest of the series. But let's move on. Let's talk about the game 2, where you've got Jose Barrios up against Thibodeau. Now, I am going to confirm and check to see someone did throw in the starters that are in here. Is it Jason Junk that is expected to start?
Let's see. Probable. So this is Extend Schneider saying probable starters Marlins. Game 1 is Ryan Gusto. Game 2 is Jansen Junk. And game 3 is Yuri Perez. I've never heard of Jansen Junk before. I really hope that he throws Junk.
He's gotta.
He must, right?
I love when like athletes' names match up with the sport they do. This is another great example of Jansen Junk right here.
Yeah, well, it's like if I was a coach back in the day and Jansen Junk was trying to throw his fastball 96, 97, I'd say, no, sorry, guy. That's actually not for you. We're going to focus more on your changeup and your curve and all your other crap.
Well, here comes Jansen Junk, and he's going to throw some wobbly pitches here today.
Actually, I gotta look it up right now, man.
Look up his velocity. Well, Jansen Junk is he's given up a lot of runs. In his last 6 starts, he's at least given up 3 earned runs, one of them being 4, one of them being 6. Last time out, though, he did go 7 innings, so we can definitely give some length. But then you got La Maquina, who has not been very good lately. Looking at his last few game logs here, everybody, he has been giving up quite a bit. 6 earned runs his last time out. He had a good start against Chicago Cubs, but then you look back before that and just not bad, not great. But he's going up against Jansen Junk. Where are you at in this one?
So Jansen Junk, just to let everybody know, kind of junky, kind of,
pitches?
Yeah, he's got 5 pitches. He throws the fastball 37% of the time. So I would say that you're this is getting to be junky.
Junky.
Yeah, this is pretty junky for sure. It's so tough with Jose on the bump because it hasn't looked good, man. It really hasn't looked good. But like, am I really gonna say that we lose a series again, like back-to-back series? Is like,
right.
You know what? Actually, I think I am going to say that. I'm going to say that the Toronto Blue Jays lose game 2 with Jose on the bump. This is going to be a minor blip. This is going to be a bit of a road bump right here. Everybody's going to think that the sky is falling and that, oh my God, we lost back-to-back series to Pittsburgh and Miami. Oh shit, we're a terrible baseball team. But it's not, because then we're going to kick Milwaukee's ass when we play them coming up very, very soon. So yeah, I'm actually going to say that we lose this game 2, and we're going to lose this series.
I say we lose this one as well, but in my prediction, we've got a rubber match on Sunday, so hopefully we have that opportunity, because we've got Kevin Gausman on the bump up against who will be Yuri Perez, who has been pretty dang good this season. 3.48 ERA, whip of 1, only 64 innings. He must have been hurt this season, which I believe, yes, he was. And ever since coming back from injury, basically came back in mid-June and then has been healthy ever since. But in the last little bit, he's been not the best, actually. 5 earned runs, 4 earned runs, 1 earned run here. He did have one start against New York where he did shut them down. What are your thoughts right now in Game 3?
Well, I'm certainly not saying that we get swept by the Miami Marlins, so I will take Gauze, and I will say that the offense can get a couple off of Yuri, even though he is their best pitcher going in this matchup. Offense can get a couple off of him. Gauze looks pretty locked down. 6 innings, 1, maybe 2 earned runs, and Blue Jays win that one. And yes, I'm predicting a bad week where the Toronto Blue Jays go 2-4, but I will still buy into this ball team, and they'll make up for it that much more the following week. That's where I'm at.
I think, Yuri throws 99. He is pretty damn talented. Would love to get him in a trade in the future, and that probably will come. He will get traded at some point because he's
as
a Miami
Marlin, does, yeah.
Right? I'm going to say we win this one. Low-scoring affair. Gosman's going to lock the hell in because he knows boys need to get a split or need to win the rubber match. We've been losing a lot of games recently. Not a lot. I mean, we're like playing 500 baseball. It's realistic. And he's going to lock in. Low-scoring game. They win like 2-1.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's the predictions right there, everybody. Now we got Drew Gamer saying, are you guys doing mailbag? Hell yeah, folks. If you guys haven't already done so, then please go submit any question that you like in our mailbag. The link to do so is down below. So we will take a couple questions right here. Drew Gamer just keeps on submitting.
It's always Drew Gamer,
always
guys.
Drew Gamer. So, listen, I love Drew Gamer, but don't let him take all the spotlight here, folks. If you have any questions, this is a much easier way to make sure that we do actually answer them. The chat can go pretty fast, and we have a agenda of things that we always want to cover, so it's not always easy for us to go there and then get off topic type thing. So please go do so right now. I see that Drew Gamer is probably submitting more as we go.
Probably.
But I do think that he's got the first question that we will get to. No.
I'm looking. Okay, yeah, because here's the thing with Drew Gamer. You send such long paragraphs, Drew, that I now have to read through it and find the question. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it, but that's why it's taking me a little bit longer. This one is about Bieber, so let's bring that one up. This is pretty relevant. to our conversation today. It's going to take me about 10 more seconds, everybody. I got to load up my program. So right now I'm buying time. Paste. Drew.
We know it's Drew Gamer.
We know it's Drew Gamer. Boom, boom, boom. Drew Gamer, my prediction, Bieber re-signs in Toronto on a 1-year, $20 million prove-it deal with a $20 million player option. He gets good money and can make more later. And stays on a winning team he is already familiar with. Do you guys think Bieber will re-sign him for how much? So let me just throw it out here. He does have one player option next year for 16, but who's to say that the Blue Jays don't go, hey, I know you're going to hit that player or you're going to opt out of your player option. What about this contract instead? What do you think? What if we up it for you? What are your thoughts on Drew Gamer's question?
Hold up. Let me pull up the Toronto Blue Jays schedule right now, because I think that this is a bit important at just kind of evaluating Shane Bieber as a whole. So he's pitching today, and we're going to assume that he's going to be healthy for the remainder of the season, because God, I mean, if he's not healthy, well, he's definitely picking up the player option if he gets injured again. Exactly. But if he's healthy, then he's got one start here. I imagine he'll start probably the first game against the Brewers right there. So 2 starts in August. Let's just say he goes every Friday. So
he'll
then
go once a week.
He would have 6 starts with the Toronto Blue Jays before the playoffs. And we don't know how many starts he's going to get come playoff time. It's impossible to say. I think for the Toronto Blue Jays to give him $20 million on a 1-year prove-it deal, like, you'd be asking for him to show a lot in 6 starts. Like, that's got to be some good outings, and that's assuming that there is no rust. And I don't know. Let me ask you guys then. If Shane Bieber comes out and in those 6 outings has a 4.5 ERA when it's all said and done. Okay, maybe he gets better as time goes on, because again, like to Max Scherzer's point and Whit Merrifield's point, like, this is somebody that is going to need some time right here. Let's say it's a 4.5 ERA through 6 starts. He gets 1 playoff start, does okay. Is that worth a 1-year, $20 million deal? I'd be excited for it. I'd be interested in it. But would the Toronto Blue Jays give that guy $20 million? That's where I'm not so sure anymore.
I could see it. I mean, money's not really a big problem. They gave Max Scherzer $15 million, granted different pedigrees here, but they did give him $15 million after coming off of 9 starts, granted a little bit more. I know that it's interesting. I mean, maybe you're banking because he's got a little bit more youth. Maybe there's a little bit more safety there because he is a little bit younger, basically 10 years younger than Max Scherzer. I would absolutely be interested, and again, I'll throw out the whole old narrative. It's not my money. I don't care, but I am interested in a reunion with Bieber. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's not enough to really go in and get like that big contract. Like, he's not going to opt out and then expect like a big contract, like a 4 or 5 year deal, like some of these pitchers.
No, he wouldn't.
You're not going to get that, right? So
if he does not give up an earned run between now and October,
then you have an argument.
Then okay, yeah. But obviously, like, that's perfection,
right? So for me, it's like, I think whatever contract, and there might be a reworking. I could see a reality where they rework it, or he goes to another team and just loads up on a 1 year, and someone's willing to pay for it. Like, I could see that happening. Someone who doesn't care about money, and then it's a prove it kind of deal, because he right now isn't going to get that lucrative contract.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation, because the player option for 1 year 16, it's right there on the fringe of. Is your agent going to try to get an additional $1 or $2 more million? Yeah. Because I certainly don't think that he's going to get over $20 million in any capacity, unless, of course, he is playing out of his skin and he's just dominant when he comes back. It's a tough one, man. I think that the Toronto Blue Jays, they're gonna be very tactful with how they play it, because I mean, you don't want to give him the $20 million and then like find out later, well, he just would have picked up the $16 million option. Right. So it's gonna be a kind of chess type of checkers game going on there, mental gymnastics, figuring out, okay, who's gonna blink first here.
Now, talking about the Toronto Blue Jays, I mean, that's a great team. If you're on a player option or a 1 year prove it deal, you want to play on a good team. You're not signing with the Pirates. You know what I mean? Like, you want to play on a good team that's going to make your numbers look nice. You have a great defense behind you. That's a great selling point for Shane Bieber. So yeah, if he likes it here and he enjoys his time, yeah, why not?
Well, that's exactly. That's another thing as well, right? Because for him, this isn't just okay, maximize my money right now. This is maximize my money for the future. And if you do end up, liking it here and liking the facilities, and the coaches are working for you, and he's got a wife, and I believe that they just had a recent kid as well, so potentially it's like, well, do I really want to uproot them as well to then go into this unknown where I'm really like, what's the gain here? An additional $1 or $2 or $3 million, but now I gotta go play in Pittsburgh or where? Like, do I really want to do that? Maybe I just take my 1-year player option where it's safe, I know that this is a good squad, I know it's working for me, and then I don't have to walk into this unknown where there's also, on the flip side too, I might get less money than my player option, right? Because my agent might be, you could have a Pete Alonso situation where your agent's like, oh, you're gonna get a ton, and then it doesn't happen. So I think that there's a lot of there's actually a lot more variables involved in that situation than it seems.
Right. All right, let's move on to another question here from Roderick saying, I know this is thinking ahead, but how worried should we be about the inconsistency of starts once the playoffs start? So you're talking about like the schedule in which the starters are starting. I'm assuming that's what the question is referring to. Should we be worried about that? Honestly, I would say not really. I mean, everyone's playing with the same kind of thing right here, where everyone's going to have either short rest or long rest or whatnot. I mean, that's just the nature of postseason. I think the boys are going to find a way and be prepared, those starters, for when their name is inevitably called, even if they need to go and skip a rest day. I think they're going to be more than willing to.
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, that's just the nature of things. I guess also, like, if you're referring to just the overall pitching staff as a whole right now, we had a video talking about the bullpen yesterday, and the bullpen is starting to become a little concerning. Recently, they haven't been great in the second half since the All-Star break. They have been a below average pen, which sucks because the Toronto Blue Jays have invested a decent amount into that bullpen. So there is some cause for concern with the bullpen, but again, it's still a team with 74 wins, and I think that unless you really go on a skid, like if they lose this Miami series and then they lose another series next week, now we can start thinking to ourselves, oh, they're not looking real good walking into September, which is when you want to be looking good. And that's when we can start to, I don't want to say hit the panic button, but sweat just a little bit. Right now, though, there is still 34 games between the Toronto Blue Jays and postseason baseball. And one thing that Max Scherzer was hammering home, nothing's guaranteed. We got to get there, right? Toronto Blue Jays could go 0-34, and it might just be the biggest epic collapse that we've ever seen in baseball history. So I'm not worried about all that just yet.
Yeah, me either, man. Also, this one's from Chris. We were talking a little bit about this, but I guess we'll double down on it. Chris asking thoughts on Yesavage straight-up delivery, short arm side and arm slot. Did you see anything that stood out to you guys? Well, honestly, I'll double down on the point I made earlier. That splitter or changeup or split changeup, whatever you want to call it, that's coming over the top is disgustingly deceiving when we are watching the game, because it looks like, from a batter's perspective, that's coming at your head off the release, and that thing just dives, and that's where you're getting a lot of swing and miss, because if you see it out of your head, well, you think it's going to hit the zone, and you know it's a split change coming. That thing's going to drop even more.
Yeah, 100%. I go back to when I think about his delivery and everything, I go and I think about the 8 strikeouts there. And that's where ultimately you know that this guy's stuff plays. And this isn't just, nobody's right here. Like, there was Spencer Jones that he was up against. This is one of the top prospects in all baseball, right? That's one of the Yankees' best guys. And, he's doing pretty good against them. And the Yankees team right now, their squad, is the best team in AAA.
Yeah,
right,
they're like 70 wins.
Yeah,
they're 71 now.
And he still got 8 strikeouts against them. And this is like, you can make an argument that those guys are like quad A players, not MLB guys, but maybe better than AAA guys as well. So I think that Yesavage is exactly where he needs to be right now. And the more that I think about it, the more that I just want him to stay there for the next month of time. Just keep working where it is quiet, where the lights aren't super bright, and then, yes, come 2026, we will start to have some serious conversations about, well, maybe this is time where we give him a look.
Yeah. All right. Final question here, everybody, from Extend Schneider. talking about the offseason. A little flirtation here with the offseason. I like it. What are your offseason predictions? Does Bo resign? Maybe even Scherzer or Bassett? Which players are most likely starting pitchers do we target?
I love that you threw in Scherzer right there, because I tried to get him to like when we had him on the show. If you guys have not already, go watch our Max Scherzer podcast. One of my favorite videos we've ever posted. But I tried to get him on the show to give us just a little insight about his future plans. Right at the end there, I was trying to kind of ease it out of him, but you could tell it's like he's not there right now. And I think he's being completely honest. Like, I don't think that he knows if he is going to play baseball next year or what his situation is going to be. There's so many I think different ways that you could spin it, right? Max Scherzer wins another World Series and then goes off into the sunset and retires as being one of the greatest baseball pitchers of our generation. Or Max Scherzer wins a World Series, wants to keep going.
Wants more. The thumb's excellent right now. We gotta keep going.
I don't think that he knows, so I'm going to leave that one for now. I'll be honest, I don't think that Chris Bassett is...
I think Bassett's good as gone.
Yeah, I do...
He served the time, we saw what he needed to... We saw what we need to see, and
yes.
I think there's other replacements out there that are younger that can do the same, if not maybe better.
Exactly, and I think at this current juncture of time, like, let me ask you guys, if it came down to locking up Chris Bassett for another 2 years, and, like, he's going to be part of the rotation for another 2 years, or leaving that spot open for Trey Yesavage, what would you prefer? Right. I know where I'm leaning, to be honest, in that one.
Or even just a Band-Aid 1 year guy, another 1 year guy. Like,
sure.
We'll see, right? Like I think those two are going to be gone. And which pitchers? And I'll be honest, which pitchers are we targeting? I'm not even looking at that right now. I haven't even given a single thought. But we most definitely, I would easily say this: we're going to sign another pitcher this season, probably like a 2 to 3 year deal.
100%. Yeah,
we're going to sign another because those are coming up, right? You got Bassett, like we're talking about leaving, Scherzer leaving. You got Gosman the year after leaving, so you got to have that.
And Eric Lauer, is he?
Eric Lauer could sign back. He's a free agent as well, right? So like those are other options.
So
as well.
Think about what the rotation's going to look like next year.
Without any sign.
Yeah, it's Kevin Gosman and it's Jose.
And then Yesavage.
Yeah, like who else?
That's Manoah,
like, it's
right?
literally Kevin Gosman and then Jose, and then it's okay, maybe Trey, maybe Manoah.
That'd be it, right? Jake Bloss, like, is he gonna? Is Tommy John? Is he gonna go? Like, I don't know.
You're gonna see the Toronto Blue Jays either trade for or sign one or potentially even multiple starters. I do think that they will leave at least 1 or 2 spots open for Alec, for Trey. I think that they are still looking at them as, well, they're definitely looking at Trey, and I do still think that they're looking at Alec as well as being part of the future here and part of the ongoing plans. But yeah, exactly evaluating. Yeah, and I was going to say, I didn't think Eric Lauer was a free agent.
I thought he for sure was.
Yes, I didn't think he was. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Drew Gamer, because I was hearing like he needs to go get paid this winter.
No.
Like, so that's what Whit Merrifield was talking about. I guess not. It's getting paid in the arbitration.
ARB 3, so potentially Eric Lauer as well in the rotation. That's actually a very solid spot to be to have that guy come back if they can. But point being, there will still be others coming into this rotation. And then to finally answer the Bo Bichette thing, does Bo re-sign? Bo and the Toronto Blue Jays are going to have a back and forth kind of flirting but dangerously, like I'm very excited
again.
Yeah, it's gonna be drama again. I'm excited for it, but I'm also scared for it as well, because I know that you're gonna get a report being Bo Bichette talking with the Dodgers, then you're gonna hear something about how Toronto is upping their like it's gonna be this back and forth thing. If the Toronto Blue Jays really want him, they will get him because they have the money to do so. And I do think that Bo Bichette is enjoying his time here at least enough this year to want to come back.
I think they're going to sign him back. I'm more, as I watch this team, and the more I see him play well, and the more I see Mark Shapiro talk about how they got endless amounts of money and they really want him to, they're going to get him back. I'd bet on it. I know I shouldn't say that, but I think he's going to be a Blue Jay in 2026.
Fingers crossed, everybody. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like, smash that subscribe button. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. We're going to be live this evening in roughly 5 hours' time to watch the Toronto Blue Jays take on the Miami Marlins. and watch Shane Bieber pitch his first game back in years.
You want to be there, folks, and we're also gonna have some pizza, and I can't wait because I'm starving right now, guys.
I'm actually pretty hungry.
Again, we traveled at like 7 a.m. this morning from Buffalo. It was all I had was Starbucks. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, guys, and $4 a month to become a YouTube member. Shout out, thank you to all of our current YouTube members. You guys are fantastic.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and as always,
Go Chase, go!